Hello friends, it's me, Vivian from ThePaperLetterBlog, also known as the Chatty Penpal channel, and my cat Noos and I are here to show you a super fun, super simple, super creative Penpal project. That's the envelope it goes out in. It even got the Noos headbutt of approval, so I mean, that's how you know it's going to be a really fun video. So we are turning a junk mail envelope into a treasure. It's going to be a pocket, Penpal pocket. I don't know. I have to workshop a name. Real quickly, before I say anything else, I got the original idea from a Dutch YouTuber called Sevenplaza. Her name is Margaret. I will link the original tutorial down below. It's a tutorial from last year. And I know that I've been talking about Margaret a lot because her videos have been inspiring me so much and I loved Mass Make March, but I actually filmed this video last year as well. But I'm uploading it today because Margaret is doing, together with another YouTuber called Tony, they're doing a ABC challenge where there's a different letter of the alphabet for every day in the month, and today is the J for junk mail. Of course, you can choose any word that starts with a J, but for me, I instantly knew I had to time this with a junk mail tutorial. Now, you see me rambling on a lot in the background. If you're like, Vivian, why do your hands move so fast? That's because this is actually a process video and I'm actually talking with a voiceover. But I originally, as you can probably guess from the hand movements, filmed this in real time. I wanted to do a real-time tutorial. People sometimes complain that my videos go too fast, and so I wanted to do like a real-time tutorial. But it took me months to finish this project because I didn't enjoy filming in real time. So I am still planning on making real-time tutorials, but maybe a simpler, smaller project so that I don't have to film for hours. Because I actually found myself postponing crafting this because I didn't want to talk. You know, sometimes you just want to craft and you just want to be in your zone and you don't want to talk. So that's why this looks a little bit weird. But basically, we're following Margaret's tutorial. I do have to give you one disclaimer, and that is that I'm terrible at following instructions, so my version is probably different. Maybe it's not, but I never watched videos all the way to the end. I'm sorry, so maybe I messed up somehow. But you grab your junk mail envelope. You could use one with a window like me because they're just really fun to give you a little sneak peek into the project, but you can also use a regular envelope. This works just the same. So what you do is you have the top cut open, and you cut open one of the sides so that we're also going to create a little side pocket there. You can see it all, but I'm trying to explain it really quickly. You fold over one of the sides so that part of the window is covered. Of course, there's no measurements for this. I just go by sight. I just try to see what looks nice. I just try to do it like that, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think you need real measurements for this. It kind of depends on your envelope and of course how large you want to make this pocket. I do also want to say that yes, for me this is an outgoing Penpal mail, but you could also make this into a journal spot, which is what Margaret uses it for. So that was a really quickly a rambly introduction. I'm also going to explain to you what you see other than the envelope, because when I filmed this originally, I put a little disclaimer saying I'm using a lot of fancy tools, but please do not feel discouraged if you do not have any of these fancy tools, because you don't need them. The best part about crafting is getting creative with what you do have, and that's easy for me to say because I have so much stuff. But for this, all you really need is a junk mail envelope, or an envelope in general, and some paper and scissors and glue. So you do not need the fancy cutting machines or any of that. That being said, the paper that I'm currently using, the collage paper that you see, is one of my own Patreon printables. I believe it's actually my first Patreon printable I ever did. I made a collage in real life and then I scanned it in and I uploaded it to Patreon for people to print and use. I always forget to actually use it, so I figured I would dedicate this project to that collage printable. And then the little cards you see in the left corner are also a Patreon printable. A more recent one I did last year, where you have all of these spring dictionary words both in like a beigey vintage color and a white and black and white. I love them. I think they're so cute. So I also wanted to use those because I do have a Patreon and I am so eternally grateful for everyone who supports it, but I feel like I need to highlight it a little bit more in between because not enough people know about it. So what I'm doing in the background, I have already cut a panel of the printable to cover up the side pocket there. It's not glued down because nothing is set in stone and I might change my mind. And then here I'm just using a Flow calendar, Flow magazine, Flow book for paper lovers, I believe, calendar page because I love that minty green. And I wanted to use that as the base, because if I like the big panel, because if I use a really busy print like my own printable as the project base, I just find that difficult. Like I find it difficult to decorate on top of something that's already super busy. So that's why I decided to go for this kind of one color. I did this wrong. That's what also happens when I am talking and crafting at the same time. I make mistakes, and I make mistakes. I make enough mistakes already without doing a real-time talking video. But yeah, I'm basically just trying to figure out where to place the paper so that you can see the window of the envelope, but you cannot see the white border around it. And of course, I cut it wrong. I tore it wrong. I did it wrong. So now I'm having to cover up parts of the envelope that are unfortunately visible with some washi tape so that you see the washi tape instead of the white. It's a challenge. And these papers are also really fun. I don't know if I'm going to end up using them, but this is a paper that I colored, so it's just regular copy paper, and I used like paints or distress oxides, stuff like that. So I do not end up using it, I think, in this project, maybe at a later stage, but I love it because I always use, like, green is my favorite color. You can see the stack of green papers over there. I always feel like I need more green paper, so I decided to make some of my own, and yeah, use it hopefully sometime in the future. So I think I already mentioned it in the beginning of this video, but the challenge, that the ABC challenge that these YouTubers are doing now basically is as simple as that. There is one letter of the alphabet for every day of the month, minus the Sundays, and today is day 11, and day 11 means the J for junk mail. Of course, it doesn't have to be J for junk mail. You can think of anything you want with the letter J, and then you dedicate a craft to that. It's just a way to get you inspired, to get you thinking about some supplies you might be using. Of course, for me, it was a no-brainer that it would be the J for junk mail, but it could also be, I don't know, journaling. What else do we have? I'm struggling really hard to come up with a letter J. Journaling. I don't know. I will have to have a think about it, but you could also do some other things with that as well. As you can see here, if you compare these clips to the last, my hands are way more tanned. I have a very colorful nail polish on. That's actually because, like I mentioned in the beginning, there are some months in between starting this project and finishing it, because I noticed that filming and talking at the same time took away my will to film altogether. So I didn't want to finish this, and then I decided if it really makes me not want to craft, then I'm not going to do real time, because it's just not working apparently. But I do, at the same time, I do have a project right now that I already have like the supplies on my desk for, and I really want to do that real time because I think it will be so much fun. So I still want to give it a shot, but I just think, and to think that back in the day when I started my channel, I only did real time. But nowadays, like, these voiceovers are really my way to craft. And also, I think because the other day I got a comment saying, it's such a shame, your videos are so fast, we cannot actually see what you're doing. I would like to throw a poll, or like have a poll. Do you think my videos are too fast or not? Because I honestly personally believe that they are not too fast because these projects are quite simple, and I think if they were slower it would get boring. But maybe you're all like, no Vivian, actually your videos are way too fast. Then do let me know. But I find it difficult to find the balance in that, because if I slow my videos down they would be an hour long, not even overreacting, and I don't think people really click on videos that are that long. And also for me to talk for an hour, that's commitment. I mean, I could do it definitely, but that's difficult. So what I'm doing in the background, for those of you who do not know this technique, it's distress oxide ink. It's basically an ink pad that reacts with water. So do you need that? No, you can use a regular ink pad, but I just really love the chalky effect that these ink pads have. So I use a little sponge to put that ink all around the edges of my paper so that it has like the same color, almost like it has been laying in the sun or it's really old. I like the way that looks, so that's why I do that. And then what I am doing, what I did is I glued down that panel on the right to actually create 2 pockets. I don't know if that is clear because of course I haven't shown it yet, but you can stick something underneath the panel altogether. There's 2 layers of paper, so you could put panels directly above that first layer, and you could also put it inside the pocket, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's like a tuck spot and a pocket, because of course you have an envelope, you fold it over, then you have 2 layers of paper, and I cut open the side, so then, do you know what I mean, or is this not making sense? Try it out, you will see what I mean. If you try it out, it's actually really simple. But yeah, there's 2 pockets. I don't know if I could do this again. Maybe I wouldn't cut open the side, because I think 1 pocket is enough. And you don't need that second pocket, because they're just going to be layered. The goodies are just going to be layered on top of each other. Like if you have really flat goodies, such as pet tape or washi tape or something, that doesn't really matter. But if you have fat goodies, you don't want to layer them on top, because your envelope is just going to get really fat. So if I could do this again, I would probably just leave the side intact so that you only have the tuck spot underneath the panel. But for now it's fun as well. So I'm using something that I rarely use to decorate, and that is these cardstock, I believe they are Tim Holtz die cuts. People sometimes send me these die cuts. I don't know for sure if they are Tim Holtz. Tim Holtz is a creator, a brand, I don't know. But they are all in the same style, and I do believe some of them are Tim Holtz. So it's at least the same style. So they're like thicker cardstock illustrations, and they are so precious and so pretty, and I have them all in a bag together, and I do not use them because I am a hoarder and I find it difficult to use the pretty things. But this project, I don't know, I started liking it so much I decided to pull out the special things. So that's what I'm using to decorate. I have the beautiful flower, I have the butterflies are also from this thicker cardstock, and then in the purple box on the right are my vintage illustration cutouts. So it's really literally that. You buy a vintage book or an encyclopedia or a book about gardening, and then you use your scissors to cut out the illustrations. So yeah, that's also a treasure trove because they are so pretty and I do not use them often enough. I just like having that box with all of my cutout elements and then just looking at it, I guess. But I've gotten better, friends. I've gotten better. I've actually used a bunch of my favorite supplies recently. I even have started doing this thing where I will, like, you know how you're deciding on what papers to use for your project? You're going through a paper pad and you're like, oh, that paper is so pretty, but is this project special enough to use the pretty paper? Some of you will have no clue what I'm talking about. Others, like me, you know, like the hoarders amongst us, you will know what I mean. You have that one paper and you're like, this is so pretty, should I tear it out? I've started tearing the papers out, even if I'm not sure I want to use them, because once it's out of the paper pad, it's easier to use. So I'm getting there, friends. I'm a hoarder, I'm a collector. I find it hard to use my pretty stuff, but I am getting there. I need a sip of my lukewarm coffee. This is a funny topic to talk about because I just know some of you are going to be like, what is this lady going on about? What do you mean having papers and not using them? What do you mean? Some of you are going to be so confused because why would you not use the pretty things? But for many of us, I will give you a little glimpse into our brain. For many of us, collecting supplies is a separate hobby. And we, once we have collected said supplies, we will then keep them forever, treasure them forever, because they are too special to use. So I want to know, another poll I'm gonna do. Are you team hoard forever and keep the pretty supplies and just be happy about having them? Or are you team, I like it, I use it? I want to know. I'm definitely the first, but I have recently, like I said, started getting better at using my pretty supplies as well. And I think it also gets easier once you have gathered a bunch of pretty supplies. Like I have so many pretty supplies now. Using one of them is only gonna make a small dent in my craft supply stash, so then I will still have a bunch left. I'm a little guilty in that regard. But yeah, like I said, collecting supplies is a hobby on its own. So another thing I'm doing for decorating is a simple tip I can give you if you're like starting out or if you find decorating difficult, is to bring symmetry in your projects. Even this, it's technically only one look, like it's only one page, even though it has 2 panels. But also when you're doing a flip book with multiple pages, or if there's multiple elements to your project, let's say a tag flip, or I don't know, a bunch of things together like envelopes, I don't know, is to bring symmetry in your project. So for example, you will have 3 washi tapes, and I like to do this thing, you can see it a couple times in this project, where I do 2 strips of washi tape covering each other, like overlapping, yes, that's the word, overlapping 2 strips of washi tape. Bring that back, use the same 2 or 3 washi tapes. I like to do 2 and then alternate. So the green and the brown, and then the green and the beige, and then the beige and the brown, you know, like that. And alternate. So bring that back in multiple places in your flip book, so that it becomes kind of like a cohesive, all-together look. Another thing about symmetry, maybe symmetry isn't the right word, but just repeating elements. For example, in this particular project, we have the butterflies. We have 1, 2, 3 butterflies. My mom taught me this trick in gardening. Whenever you plant flower bulbs or plants, always use the trick of 3. You plant 3 of the same together, because that's somehow pleasing to the eye, it's calming for your brain, I don't know. When I do doodling, I don't really doodle, but when I do the same. I do 3 little doodles, or 5, or 1, I don't know, I never do 1, but you know what I mean. Usually do 3 little doodles and then some smaller elements, so it's always the trick of 3. Thank you, Mom, for teaching me that. Once you start doing that, oh my goodness, I forgot about that. I was also doing this, I have this box with prompts. Forgot about that. And I had the doodle, and I had seasonal, and I had watercolor. But I think this is coffee dyed. Oh no, I'm gonna incorporate watercolor later with gold. Yes, that's it. I'm now just showing you the goodies I'm including. So that's just some tips and tricks on how to decorate. Oh yeah, these labels fit in the pocket perfectly, which is so pleasing. Another tip, like I said, again, cohesiveness, bring stuff back. So use the same paper, same washi tape, same little elements to decorate, or like I've done for this project, use ink to color in the edges, so that even when you're using new paper and vintage paper together, when you color in the edges, I'm even doing it here in this letter writing paper, I kind of forgot about that. When you color the edges, it kind of looks like it's part of a set. So here, this is a Patreon writing paper printable, I cannot talk today, writing paper printable that I did years ago, and it's very new because it's like crisp white background, colorful florals, but I wanted to use it for this project because I think it goes really nicely with it. But because I use that yellow ink, the same yellow ink that I used for my project, it kind of looks more like it goes together, you know, it's not like brand new versus vintage. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of like a little how I decorate, what I like to do. I hope that helps for some of you. I definitely struggled a lot when I started crafting, and I definitely copied people, like not copied, but I used inspiration from other people. Maybe I did copy, I don't know, very often. So I hope that you can do the same with my videos, and that you're like, oh, I have to use 3 butterflies. Sometimes I use 2. I'm a rebel, but yeah. 3 is more pleasing to the eye. So this is the watercolor prompt. I completely forgot I was doing the prompt challenge, but this is watercolor. It's gold, and it's really pretty, and I do not, again, use it often enough. So I just made a little border around the page, and then what was that? And then I'm using some extra like specks, making some extra specks around the page. I'm even, wow, dedication, I even added Nuvo drops on top of the gold to add in more. For those of you who don't know, because I keep throwing terms around, Nuvo drops, basically a little bottle of, I think I should call it colored glue. You just make little dots on the page, almost like wax drops, you know, like when you seal the letter, and it just looks really nice. It adds like a textured look, it adds a 3D effect. It's nice. I am gonna show, do not worry, I am gonna show this project up close, but it's like wet now. I always smudge one Nuvo drop at least. So I have to put it aside so that I do not smudge it. I'm quickly gonna show you the envelope and some of the goodies, but like I said, it's also coming at the end where I do real time. So this is how I wrap up the mail. I included pet tape. Of course, I love pet tape. I included this little sea-themed bundle from Album Love Handmade. Yeah, there were basically a bunch of sea-themed elements, and they are not really my style. And I got this as a Patreon parcel, like I paid my subscription and then I had that. So I decided, because I didn't like it, maybe someone else would like it. So I just sent it as a whole, as a goodie. Maybe that's a little bit, I don't know. I hope the receiver did like a sea theme. So like I said, this is a junk mail turned into treasure. I'm so happy with it. Like I said, Noos gave the headbutt of approval. Very important. I think it came together super nicely. I did leave the back side blank. You could also cover it up. I personally decided not to. I even wrote a little message on the back saying this is a recycled junk mail envelope to kind of inspire. So as you can see, one pocket opens from the side with the little labels in. You can open it like that, and the letter is going to be underneath that pocket, even there, underneath there. And then in the top it opens and you have my beautiful coffee dyed paper bag. Because of course that was going to be visible through that window, so I wanted something nice. And then even when you take out the goodies, you still get a nice look at the project, the inside of the project. And then I have already showed you what was inside that paper bag. I don't know if I added anything afterwards, but yeah. Little zoom in on Noos's butt. That is my project, friends. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a little comment down below. Don't forget to follow me if you do not already. Up on screen you see my amazing patrons who support my channel every month. I would love to see you there as well. Okie dokie, bye!